All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve with Real Progressives. That great image right there, that great quote was from Paul Wellstone, the great Paul Wellstone of Minnesota. We're going to talk about the job guarantee today. Recently I've been spending a lot of my time talking about the climate and talking about the 12 years that we have to make change, to stave off cataclysmic climate events and really prevent another mass extinction, which it may be, we may be well past that event horizon already. But not one to give up, because when there's still an opportunity, right? You look at what are some of the things that we could do to mass mobilize people to, in effect, change the public purpose and change our surroundings, and to be able to make it so that we could actually take the necessary steps to, in fact, meet the needs of our world, of our planet, in order for us to beat that 12-year window. So one of the things that we often talk about is the federal job guarantee, which we usually spend most of our time trying to placate people that don't like the idea of work, and they don't like the idea of us making a job guarantee because they get stuck on the automation side. For whatever reason, it's become almost a religion to not hear the message of the job guarantee, but to always fall back to the right-wing libertarian model of a UBI. Unfortunately, the right wing and the libertarians have been very effective at infiltrating the left and have made the UBI something that many people are willing to grasp hold of. For those of you who understand Social Security, we know that we can expand Social Security to more than meet any of the scenarios laid out by the basic income people. So we don't really have to worry about that. We already have a basic income in place. The question is, how do we expand it to meet our needs? Like Bernie Sanders said, and like many of others have said, we've already got that. Let's focus on what we don't have. And that is an answer to involuntary unemployment. Key word there, involuntary. For those of you who know what the word involuntary means exactly that. You don't want to be unemployed, but yet you are unemployed. So a basic income doesn't solve that problem. Somebody that wants a job should have a right to a job. And more importantly, when we understand that a job guarantee does many, many other things that just throwing cash at the situation doesn't do, right? So let's talk quickly about what a job guarantee is and what a job guarantee isn't. From a macroeconomic perspective, a job guarantee is a stabilizer. It's an automatic stabilizer to the entire economy. Now, for those of you who have not taken a lot of economics classes and are not familiar with the term automatic stabilizer, let me explain to you. The economy ebbs and flows. It contracts, it expands. There's a lot of situations that occur. The last financial crisis that hit, we didn't have anything in place for regular people to survive the downfall. So everybody got swept up in it and just got eaten alive like part of the machine. What a job guarantee does is part humanity driven and part economic stabilizer driven. We focus almost all of our attention over here on what's in it for me, the people portion of this. But let's talk for a moment about the automatic stabilizer portion of this. As thousands upon thousands of people were being laid off during the global financial crisis, a federal job guarantee would have automatically provided a buffer immediately, not just this extended unemployment garbage that we saw. For those of you who were caught up in the extended unemployment, you realize that it did not meet your needs. It did not come close to meeting your needs. But a federal job guarantee, what would have happened was all the people that were laid off, every one of them, would have fallen into a living wage if they wanted to work. And most people would want to work. And for those people that don't want to work, there would be an opportunity there to expand Social Security. So let's not focus on that. Let's stay with the job guarantee. What does the job guarantee do? First of all, it produces output, sustained output. We have jobs, we have output, we have things, and it's not make work. The key here is that there are many versions of this, at least in terms of implementation, but some of them are, providing payment to nonprofits for work. For volunteers today, why volunteer? Why not get a paycheck for that? Okay. For people who are caregivers, why this is such an important role? Why just do that? Why not provide a living wage for caregivers as well? It's a very vital part of society. It's something we revere. It's something that we can certainly compensate. What about serving your local communities? There's so much work to be done in your local communities that is being left undone. An automatic stabilizer that pushes people into the federal job guarantee and allows them to have a living wage with benefits and that they can stay in if they want to. It's not a temporary job. Although the need for it may be temporary because people, as the economy gets better, would be able to roll back into more lucrative jobs that they want to work in. Now, does this preclude co-ops? Absolutely not. There's nothing stopping us from doing co-ops today. So we need to really make sure what the job guarantee is and is not. Okay. The job guarantee is a macroeconomic stabilizer for when the downturns hit. There's an automatic buffer, not only preventing the economy from tanking, but also preventing people from tanking. That's number one. Number two, it is absolutely the answer to involuntary unemployment, something that a UBI does not provide. And for whatever reason, we need to get people to understand that what we're solving here is involuntary unemployment. We're creating what we call a buffer stock of employed people, because as it stands right now, we create a buffer stock of unemployed people. Now, all you'll have to do to understand why this is so vital is talk to a woman or a man, most likely a mom who, through patriarchy, et cetera, was a stay-at-home mother and spent 25 years raising kids, didn't work, now all of a sudden has to enter into the workforce and has no way of getting back into the workforce. And everybody that would hire her is saying, what skills do you have? You haven't been around for 25 years. Well, all of a sudden, she's able to walk right out the door the minute that she wants, serve her local community, have a job as a right, anywhere she wants in the country. She can go state to state and find work immediately. So we've eliminated that whole need to stay in the marriage for an abusive marriage. Not that I'm advocating divorce, but for those people who have been in horrible situations, to be trapped, to have no options, to have no exit plan, to have no way out. The job guarantee provides a way out. It's very important that we not make the job guarantee something that it's not, and not ask it to solve problems it's not meant to solve. For those people that don't understand, there's some literature out there you can look at Bill Mitchell, who is one of the authors of the original MMT-driven federal job guarantee. You can find him on Billy Blog. Professor Mitchell is a phenomenal economist. He's out of Australia. You also have Fidel Kaboub, who works very frequently with Real Progressives. He's out of Denison, and he's also at the GISP, or what used to be Benzager Institute, now Global Institute of Sustainable Prosperity. And you can also look at Pavlina Cherneva of Bard College and of the Levy Institute. Obviously, Randall Wray has written extensively on this, as has Warren Mosler and Stephanie Kelton. In fact, you can find Stephanie Kelton talking about the job guarantee at the Sanders Institute and at Stony Brook. Why does this matter right now? Because what happens is this: we, the people, are the only ones left without a cushion. We're the only ones left with despair hanging over our heads. We're the only ones that have no choice. But now, let's say the economy is good and you're working for an employer that you just simply cannot stand, or they have done things to you that you just simply cannot tolerate. The job guarantee allows you to walk away from a really bad job, have a buffer job while you seek other employment. Talk about phenomenal. For those of you who have been a contractor before, this is a great bridge between contracts. This is a guaranteed way of making sure that your family doesn't completely go into the toilet and also keeps the economy booming. Because what happens when unemployed people are around? Businesses start going out of business too. Regular mom and pop businesses start going under. And then what happens? The Walmarts buy them all up. And then when the economy comes back, all the mom and pop businesses that were around for 100 years are now gone. All the old houses that, people lived in are now bought up and gentrified. The poor are pushed further and further away from prosperity every time these downturns hit. A federal job guarantee stops that from happening. Something else a job guarantee does. We talk about income inequality. Now, the job guarantee is not the silver bullet of income inequality, but let me tell you what it does do. So much of the income inequality that we see in America is brought on by people having to go into private debt to sustain their existence. Payday lenders, you name it. What we've done by putting a job guarantee out there is made it so that people have a steady income, so that they do not have the potential of having to make those bad choices, which then in turn takes money out of the pockets of these vultures, the payday lenders and others. Something else that it does, and I think this is important to discuss. When you have just throwing money around, envision this for a minute. Envision being in a helicopter or skydiving, and you jump out of the plane. And instead of being stabilized and you're just like, you're spinning and you're spinning and you're spinning and your head's all discombobulated and you can't see. That is what an economy is like without a federal job guarantee. But all of a sudden, a federal job guarantee, it's like, now all of a sudden you can pop your chute and you can glide down. It's a huge stabilizing effect, hence the term automatic stabilizer. In other words, it kicks in when you need it, and it slows down when you don't. It automatically rises and falls to meet the need. And we, the people, don't have to suffer. So the question I ask you is this. When you see somebody talk about a job guarantee versus a universal basic income, universal being universal, meaning everyone gets it. Think about how preposterous that is when you sit there and you say we can't afford things. Why can't we afford things? Because you fundamentally believe that we need to pay taxes in order to pay for these programs. You fundamentally believe it, but somehow or another, you fundamentally believe that we can have a universal basic income. Well, first of all, we could do a universal basic income. It would be highly inflationary. It would devalue work. And it would be, honestly, a very, very poor plan brought on to you by the Chicago School of Libertarianism, which would be monetarism, which would be Milton Friedman. Milton Friedman pioneered this way, way back, saying, hey, this is what capitalism needs, is a basic income, because therefore capitalism can continue to make more money. But money's not what really people need. What people need is housing. They need food. They need shelter. They need transportation, reliable transportation. If you don't have anything to peg the wage floor and peg the price controls, you could have $1,000 and it's worth nothing tomorrow. It's called status quo. The job guarantee, however, pegs the dollar, if you will, pegs the economy to the labor standard. Now what you've done is you've created a situation where you've forever rendered unemployment, involuntary unemployment, obsolete. You have eradicated generational poverty, and you have put a dead stop to the school to prison pipeline, because so many things are done in desperation. Do you think that the job guarantee is worth fighting for? I know I do. Show me what you're made of. start fighting for a federal job guarantee. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives. Have a good day, everyone.